Good evening, my delightful things. Welcome back to the cavern. I hope you all are doing amazingly well and ready for the weekend. I finally watched Paranormal Activity 3 through 5, and I honestly am surprised there's that many. And apparently there's 7. I don't know if they're making any more. If you know if they are making more, let me know in the comments below. I heard some people talking that they might be, so let me know. I'm going to try and keep this spoiler free as best as I can in case some of you haven't seen these yet. I know they've been out for a while, they're not new, but I wasn't interested in these movies when I first watched the first two. I found them pretty cliche and not that scary. To be honest, it's why I never watched the others in the franchise. With that said, why I decided to rewatch these is because in the horror community, I constantly see these movies mentioned, and people absolutely love these movies. So I decided I would give them another shot. I will admit, since I've watched this many, there's only 2 left, I can now appreciate the films more than I did before, because I understand why people like these movies. They are creepy. They make you feel like you're not watching actors in a movie. It actually feels like you're watching people, regular people, in a haunted house, and they're capturing spirits, demons, whatever you want to call them. That makes it more terrifying, that feel. So I understand it. Paranormal Activity 3 depicts what happened when Katie and Christy were children. This movie actually creeped me out. I give it props. And these movies so far, up until, I want to say the 5th one. The 5th one didn't freak me out as much. But 1 through 4, after watching them, I got that unnerving feeling of being watched, followed, like I usually have after watching a scary movie. So I give it props for that. It actually did a much better job than most modern horror movies have done for me. I don't like most of the more modern horror movies that have come out recently. I actually found them terrible, and I feel like I'm not a horror fan anymore because I don't find them scary. I don't see what most people see in these new horror movies. They just don't do it for me, I guess. I prefer different types, I guess. Maybe that's it. But Paranormal Activity 3 pretty much is your typical child has imaginary friend that is really a demon that starts causing chaos in the house. It also couched with a typical spouse or significant other not believing paranormal events are occurring, which then just caused things to escalate like the past movies. The most terrifying part for me was when Katie and Randy played Bloody Mary in the bathroom. That freaked me out, I will admit. It wasn't something I was expecting to happen. I was expecting maybe they would catch something on camera, but no, this took a whole different turn for me. If you want to know why this also freaked me out, it's probably because Bloody Mary is a game that bothers me to begin with. So it just, I guess you could say it played on my fears. Not a Bloody Mary. Not a Bloody Mary. But kind of like you're messing with things that you shouldn't. If you'd like to know more about the Bloody Mary aspect, check out my video on it about me. It talks a little bit about why the game bothers me. And it's not just my fear of mirrors. I do have a fear of mirrors, and I know people think that's probably hilarious. My husband actually is one of those. He constantly makes fun of me. Because logic states it's just a reflection, so therefore it can't hurt you, so why are you afraid of it? I don't know why it freaks me out. I have no idea. It's something that I've never been able to understand, but I don't know. It's an illogical fear, hence why it's a phobia. Most phobias are illogical fears of something. Anyways, Paranormal Activity 4 continues where 2 left off. A family living in the suburbs of Nevada taken their neighbor's child, Robbie, after his mother is taken to the hospital. Robbie is a very weird kid, to say the least, and he has a terrible attitude problem, at least to me. I thought he was a little brat. So Ben tries to be nice to this kid constantly. And this kid just does nothing but give this poor guy attitude. In one instance, Ben asks him what he's doing. Because he's just sitting on the couch moping. That's what it looks like anyways. Whereas Wyatt is having fun playing the video game. And Robbie responds to Ben's question as, I'm playing with my friend. Duh. And it's like, what the hell was that for? Like, why did you have to give such an attitude? I mean, the guy's just being nice to you. And he's wondering why you're not playing when it's a two-player game. It was just, it didn't make sense. So I understood why Ben was asking. There is one creepy element that bothered me too, because I don't know how they did it. I want to know how they did it. Because I know this is fabricated. None of this is real. But basically for this particular scene, Wyatt goes downstairs in the middle of the night. And the VR system is on, which is set to infrared. So it has the whole room in this green light with hundreds of thousands of little lights, basically. They look like stars. It looks really cool. And these dots will pick up any type of movement. So automatically it picks up Wyatt coming down the stairs. But you also see something behind him following him. And it's in the shape of a child. Really creepy, to be honest. I was also surprised that I recognized Catherine Newton because most of the actors and actresses in these films so far, I never saw them before in the film, in any movie, I should say, which made it feel more realistic to me. And I think they did a great job with that, picking no-name actors, I should say, to play these roles because, again, it makes you feel like it's real, like it is actually happening. These things did happen, whatever. The marked ones explained how everything that has happened over the 4 films are not centralized, I should say. Not now, but not centralized to just America, but around the world. I thought it was an interesting idea, and it did have some weird elements, but it wasn't that scary to me. I was more disappointed than anything. I was hoping for a different spin. Like, because they took Latinos, I was hoping for more of their culture to be depicted in terms of their beliefs. I was disappointed that they didn't work with that. I thought it would be kind of cool because there are stories that I heard, I don't know how accurate they are, of course, but witches and things. So I was hoping for like a different, kind of like a different story that would interconnect in that way. Because I'm gonna ruin, so spoiler alert from here. Spoiler alert! Because we know that's witches behind all of this, I thought it'd be kind of cool if there was a coven of witches from that area, or culture, I should say, that tied into the other covens. I thought it'd be kind of cool to show that it's not just a coven in America, but everywhere. So, and I know that's what they were trying to say, so I was hoping that that's what they would, incorporate, but unfortunately they didn't. It seemed like a missed opportunity to me. And when it comes to the witch aspect, when it comes to the witch aspect, movies like these kind of bother me because I know Wiccans, and they're not evil. They don't sacrifice children or even worship the devil or Satan. Very few actually follow Satanism in their practices or beliefs. So when I see it in film, it irritates me because it continues the belief that witches are evil and villainous. When in fact the reason this belief started was because powerful, strong, independent women were scary. Especially when it's not today, but ancient times, basically. Well, not really ancient times, but when Christianity started and Judaism really is when that thought pattern really kind of flourished and took off. So I'm not a huge fan of that plotline. I kind of wish it was something else entirely, like maybe a cult, not a coven of witches. However, that wasn't the main reason I didn't like the Marked Ones film. I felt it was just a repeat of the past movies. There wasn't really anything new being brought to the franchise apart from showing that it isn't a centralized coven of witches. I would have preferred if they explained what their goal was besides making an army of demon-possessed children or teens. It didn't make much sense why they would go through all of this for an army when usually you build an army for defense. What are they defending against? I mean, there's nothing there that makes any sense. I'll have to see what 6 and 7 have in store. Hopefully they give more information on the Coven and their endgame. And hopefully it makes sense and it's not something that just seems like they threw together just to call it a day and make their movies. For those of you that have watched all of these films, what one is your favorite? What one did you absolutely hate? Let me know in the comments below, and please keep it spoiler free. Please. I have to say my favorite is the first through 4. They had a lot of creepy elements, so I could ignore the Coven aspect of them. I also like the story to a point. It was kind of different from other evil witch movies that I've seen. Let me know what your thoughts are on this franchise below in the comments and anything else you'd like to talk about. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around to the end. I hope you all have a great weekend and take care until next time. Bye, everyone.